Okay, my name is Zakashi, guys, and before we even get anywhere into this video, I need you guys to answer this question here. How many Chrono Crystals do you currently have right now in your Dragon Ball Legends account? Because it's going to decide your fate when these two, and I said two, banners drop tomorrow. One of them featuring Orange Piccolo as a revival unit, and the other banner featuring Gamma 1 and 2. Both Legend Limited units, by the way. I got them right here for you, as you can see. And they are followed up. So on the Orange Piccolo transforming banner, there is Gohan in his awakened form, but he's got the glasses really, so it's not really his awakened form. And then on this banner, we've got Magenta with it's not even a death buff, but really more like Tapion, where when he dies, you see Cell Max. Let me know which one you are more in favor of, but in this video here, I'm going to be giving you a serious evaluation on whether you should summon, what's more valuable to summon on, and whether the banners are actually worth it or not. So yeah, answer that question. Like I said, how many Chrono Crystals do you have? Before we get into this video, if you haven't already, make sure to press the subscribe button, man. We're on this grind to 50,000 subscribers. We might be there already, I don't know, by the time you're watching this video, but hey, we're very close, so you know what to do. If you're new, press that red button, man. And yeah, I'm not gonna hold you guys up any longer. Let's actually get into the video now. Okay, so there's a lot of hype in the air, and I'm just gonna take this segment of the video to bring your hype down. Breathe in, breathe out. Do that 3 times. I'm dead serious, because right now you're probably so hyped and ecstatic, it's crazy. But when it comes to spending your Chrono Crystals and actually having something of value in the game, you really want to consider whether the unit is worth it for you. The key word is for you. So if you like how they look and that's your sole reason of summoning, the video's done. You can just click off. There's nothing really else for you to hear. But if you want to realize, look at their kit and realize whether they're actually bad or good, depending on how you feel after I say what I have to say, then this video's for you. But this is just a reality checkpoint because there's a lot of hype. Obviously, there's recency bias as well, and just off the fact that they look good, they obviously rope you into actually summoning. So it's just a little reality check section, but let's actually dive into the video now. Okay, so this is some pre-information. I always have it on my phone, and I want to really emphasize that this is important. It's pre-information before you even decide to summon. So the first thing I'm going to mention is that you should watch showcases before summoning. Now more than ever, because on this banner, banners even, there's 2 banners. When it's 1 banner, cool, you might just go in, you get the unit early, you're lucky, whatever. But because there's 2 banners, you might have to decide where you want to split your Chrono Crystals or what you want to dive more into. So with that being the case, I advise you watch showcases. You're not a content creator, and if you are, you probably wouldn't need to watch this video. But even if you are watching this video and you are a content creator, there's so many content creators that actually make content that are going to summon regardless, because they're paid to win, they get the money to do so. So with that being said, you should watch one of their videos, gain a genuine opinion on what the unit is to you, and then you'll be able to actually spend your Chrono Crystals in the most appropriate fashion. So definitely watch showcases. You could also wait until a later date, because in a lot of cases, day 1 showcases are not always the optimal representation of what the unit can do. So if you wait maybe a week, people might realize, oh, they're not that good, and then stop using them. For example, Boo Bros are an exact representation of that happening in the meta. So putting that out there. But with that being said, I do understand that you won't be able to take advantage of certain events, so just keep that in mind. But the one main thing that always comes with summoning on banners is that you should be considering the near future. Especially at this point in time, the anniversary right now, it's not over. The anniversary is not over. There's going to be one more thing to drop, and that is going to be an Ultra. And the fact that they've actually brought back the double banners that they've done in like a year and a half, Toshi said. They haven't done it since then. That's insane, and brings up big things for the fact that there's going to be an Ultra next. Is it going to be double Ultra? Is there going to be multiple Ultras on that one banner? You don't want to miss out, because Ultras are really game changing, and naturally you should consider the future at all points, because you're meant to be saving, and especially if you're free to play, you're not always going to have the amount of Chrono Crystals that you want to dive into any banner of your choice. So just bear that all in mind, because it's very, very important when you're actually summoning on any banner. Now, I made this tweet, and I'm just going to use the tweet to pretty much reference all of the units and giving my initial opinion on all of them. So it's going to be like a very short and subtle breakdown on each of the units, but it's not going to be something in depth. So I don't want you to take the whole kit off of this, because there's 4 kits to read, and you probably don't want to sit through a should you summon when you're just trying to get an opinion. So I'm just going to go through a quick thing that I made. I made a tweet on every single new unit. So we got Piccolo first. I wrote he looks good animation wise, but I think the Gammas look better. I think he'll be able to survive, because for one, he's green, which is actually very, very good for movies, because green is like the color of death. I always call this the element of death, bro. In Legends anyway. In real life, it's life, because the grass and whatnot, whatever, cool. But because he's green, he's not going to have any replacement, which is very, very good. Regen as well, he has good Zenkai buffs. As long as he has decent stats, he can keep up with a lot of the units in the game. And on top of that, he's on very big teams. He has huge potential because of his element on top of that, so that's also dope. And overall, his revival is the key factor I want to point out. So maybe because of his revival, it might feel like they've held back with his kit, but revival is a very big factor regardless. So he's obviously just going to be better overall, and he has a gauge as well. And when his gauge fills, it's going to be quite problematic after the revival. So just pointing that out, I think Piccolo is pretty solid, and his element choice will give him a lot of room to be a main pick given his element. Good counter to possibly counter Gold Frieza on the blue side, but again, he's going to be a victim to the purple side, which is Goku, who actually does a lot of damage stacking buffs. So just putting that out there, but I think Piccolo's pretty solid overall. If you are a region user more than anything, he's for you. But movies unit, you don't really need him because there's other element characters that are just better, which would not require you to always use a green. But if you did want Piccolo on your team, having him as a revival option would actually help your team overall, and he will be boosted, which is great. Moving on to Gamma 1 and 2, I really think that they have the best animation out of all of these units that we've seen so far, but I am worried about their prep time thing. We saw with Boo Bros, the prep time isn't as great as it's built up to scene, but I think that's just PTSD. But overall, they do look good, and the core breaker thing will most likely do a lot of damage with the fact they're boosted, and they're on a very good team. This unit here, they don't have a tag switch. I mean, a reverse. They do have a tag switch. They don't have an element reverse. So they're yellow, and they're going to stay yellow. So don't think you're going to be advantageous over reds like Ultra Hit. You're literally going to stay yellow the whole time. But I think it's still a good choice for movies because there's no really good yellow at the moment for movies. So they're not likely to get replaced as well. And they are type advantage over Goku on Gold Frieza, who's a top 3 unit in my opinion, and in most people's opinion as well. So they're just going to have a lot of value, but I feel like because they're range type, so they're going to do a lot of blast damage more than anything else, their stats will lean towards that direction. They will definitely fit best on androids over anything else. I could see them on movies as well, but Android will definitely be their place, and they'll probably be the leading force on Android, since considering that they're a new unit, they're boosted, they're going to have a new gen kit in a sense. The core breaker is going to be solid as well, their LF is good. Overall, nice unit here as well, but I'd say if anybody summoning for this unit should be more the Androids users than anything else. Next, we got Gohan. Gohan here, I think he's actually decent, but I don't see him being better than Pan, especially in the long run. But I will say that I don't like his element because then he's competing with Pan immediately. If he was a different element, you could use him alongside, so you don't have to forcefully run the double red, because double red could be a big disadvantage, especially with the fact that Beast Gohan is going to be around on this banner. So everybody's going to be using Beast Gohan, and they might even bring Beast Gohan back on boost, which is going to be a big inconvenience. So I don't think his element choice was the best option, but I do feel like his standby switch is going to be the most annoying thing of his kit. You see Ultra Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken, when he switches in or when the enemy switches out, anytime he's faced with the enemy specifically, he actually locks your strikes for, I believe it's like 2 timer counts or 3 timer counts. But every time this Gohan switches out, he actually locks your strikes for 3 timer counts. So let me give you an example. Say you're actually attacking him with Beast Gohan. It's going to be blue versus red, right? You're attacking him with Beast Gohan. Beast Gohan's a melee unit, and you're most likely going to be using a melee team. With that being the case, I switch out, right? Let's just say I'm running this Gohan with Rose, just hypothetically. I would actually switch out to Rose. I'm now type advantage over Beast Gohan, and he's attacking on a disadvantage basis. But on top of that, I've locked all his strikes because I've switched out from this Gohan, and I feel like a lot of PvP is going to see that and be a big inconvenience. So you need to calculate for when the unit comes in. You need to react really fast. You're going to drop your combo and lose the opportunity to do more damage as you was doing. Now Magenta, my own personal opinion is that I don't like that they made this Cell Max figure a factor of his death. Like in battle anyways. I think they should have just made Cell Max his own unit, but he is a very large scale unit, so I understand why they wouldn't do that. We still don't have an Uzaru unit, so understandable, but I think it's just a cheap way to go out in my opinion. But really and truly, this unit is probably going to be a short-term unit, but I could see the AoE damage on Cell Max being insane, especially if you take out this unit. Bro, he's green. So if we look at units that are blue, Beast Gohan could be an insane victim to that AoE damage. And we know because if he does damage like Tapion to an where a unit he's advantageous over, the standby units are going to take a big hit, and that's going to have a big impact on how the game will continue from that point on. Health going down is a big thing for your standby units, not just the main one that got hit. That's understandable, but the standby units, and there's nothing you can do to avoid it too. Okay, so I think most people have already decided they're gonna summon, so if you made it this far, you probably just want to know what banner is more valuable. Let's say you got 10k chrono crystals. Should you split it 5k each, or should you go more on one side? Now, Piccolo, we know he has Gohan, and the Gamma banner has Magenta. But really and truly, I feel like more favorable, I think the Piccolo banner will have more life in it. I think Gohan is going to be somebody that people are going to want to use as well. But Piccolo, with Regen being an amazing tag with Ultra Kid Buu, even if Piccolo isn't the greatest unit himself, his revival will still play a big factor if you decide to build him defensively. Let me not even point out the fact that he's green, so he has good Zenkai buffs. And overall, revival units, not to say they always survive long, but they're always just an integral part on teams to actually change up the flow of the game. He revives all the way to full health, so people are really going to calculate how they play even more than ever, given that Ultra Kid Buu, which is the main leading force for Regen, will definitely be an anti-rush unit. You can't rush him point blank, people know that. And then obviously because of the revival, if you rush the revival, it's kind of like you kind of just wasted the rush because you still got to deal with his second life. So that's something that you might want to deal with. You might not want to deal with. So if you are using Ultra Kid Buu, Piccolo might be your best friend on Regen, I'm not gonna lie. Green, yellow, they work very well together. So Piccolo being green is an amazing pick. Ultra Kid Buu is already yellow, so that's great as well. It just works very well. It's a melee type team as well, with Orange Piccolo being melee type. Next we got Gamma 2 or Gamma 1 and 2. I keep saying Gamma 2 because he's the LF. But both of them, they are range types. I feel like if anything, you want them. You actually want to use them more so on androids. But I think the overall elephant in the room is that both of these banners here are are movies. The fact that they're both movies banners, people will obviously use them on movies, but I don't feel like that's their most optimal teams, which is actually backwards to look at it, but it's just the case. With the fact that Gamma 1 and 2 are blast based, that's going to mess up the synergy for movies. Piccolo being a melee type is good, so you can use them on movies, but I feel like Regen is where his home is really going to be, because they're going to actually just eat off the fact that there's Zenkai buffs, the revival, endurance, there's so much going on Regen. The healing is dope. But overall, I feel like Regen is going to have a bigger impact on the meta, so I would say the Piccolo banner is more valuable, generally speaking. Overall, that's me. Gohan is going to fit more people's taste on movies as well, just off the fact he's Gohan. But I overall think the Gamma 1 and 2 LF looks so much better. But we gotta consider the actual value. And if I had to pick one, I'm picking Piccolo. If I had to go deeper into one banner, I'm gonna go deeper into Piccolo. But that's just me. You could pick your reasons. It depends on what team you use. For example, if you're an Androids guy, you could go Gamma 1 and 2. If you're a movies guy, I suggest you go Piccolo because of the melee. If you're a Regen guy, you definitely go Piccolo as well. So just putting that out there like that with the breakdown. Now, the main question of the video, should you summon? You've probably been waiting for this point, but if you think you should summon, in my opinion, I don't think you should. Unless you're running Regen or Androids. If you are a movies guy, I feel like movies is gonna get something better down the line, and this isn't the peak. This is more like, it feels like fan service to me. And that is what the crowd loves. That's what everybody loves. It loves the fan service. These units here, they're not bad by any means, but I really feel like if they're doing something this big in the middle of the anniversary, the Ultra that's going to come out is really going to overshadow these units, undeniably. I'd be shocked if the Ultra doesn't. It's going to be really wild when everybody spends their Chrono Crystals on not just one, but there's 2 banners currently, so you have to actually pick which one you want, and if you're not picking, you're going to be pouring into both. You really have to be careful when you're summoning on a banner like this. There's only one sparking on each banner and they're split between 2 banners, so it's wild, really and truly. So if you wanted my straight up answer, I'd actually say you shouldn't summon on these banners, really and truly. Of course, if it benefits your tag, go ahead, but long term, I'm very cautious about how these units will play out. I could see Gamma 1 and 2 having amazing life on Androids. I could see Piccolo having amazing life on Regen. But I can't say the same for both these units on movies, just because of how dominant Beast Gohan is, on top of the fact that Beast Gohan is on the banner. But that's not all I have to say about whether you should summon. Outright, I did say no, but I want to point out that Beast Gohan's on this banner, and a lot of people want Beast Gohan. And I think Beast Gohan alone, outside of these 2 units, is worth you summoning. I genuinely think that. Beast Gohan is a game-changing unit. You could change your team just like that if you're running him with Pan, or even if you put him with the new Gohan, even if you just have one new movie unit. You could run Beast Gohan so healthily in PvP, it's dumb. He will change your whole experience. So even if you don't get any of these 2 LFs, you can still have the chance to get Beast Gohan, so the value of the overall banner is very high. But that's the only reason why I really see outright, yes, you should summon, because of Beast Gohan. If they didn't put Beast Gohan on these banners, I would actually be reconsidering even like saying this banner's worth it, you know? but Beast Gohan really makes a change. Outside of the fact that if you prefer the tags that they specifically have, Andre's regen, then it will be to your benefit. But yeah, that's a reason to summon, because you probably want one. Last thing I'm going to point out for this video, if you're summoning on any banner, I always say adequate amount, so a good amount to actually have is 20,000 Chrono Crystals at a minimum. Because 20,000, you'll probably get the unit before you go below 10,000 if you're at least lucky or even average, and then you'd be able to climb back up. But if you've got less than 20,000, so you have 10k, it'd probably take you the whole 10k to get the unit, then you'd be on 0 and you feel really bad about it. Especially if they're not what you like. So 20,000 is pretty safe in my opinion. I'd say it's really good as well because it's where the Chrono Crystal cap is. If you don't know what that is, when you get to 20,000 Chrono Crystals, you can't claim Chrono Crystals from the exchange shop. So in a scenario you want to actually save more Chrono Crystals, or you want to actually collect Chrono Crystals from the exchange shop but you're at 20,000 Chrono Crystals, you can spend, go slightly below, see if you get lucky. If you didn't, whatever, but if you did, that's amazing as well. Then you can claim from the exchange shop regardless, and then you go back up to 20k, no problem. It's like nothing ever happened. But yeah, man, that's going to be the end of the video, man. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. This is probably a big one because everybody wants to know whether they should summon on this banner. Let me know how many Chrono Crystals you got on this at this current occasion. Let me know whether you're actually going to be summoning on any of the banner, and if you are going to be summoning, let me know which one you're favoring more, because you probably summon on both, but if you're picking one, which one's your favorite? Appreciate you guys for watching the video, man. Press the subscribe button. Like I said, we're very close to 50,000 subscribers, and that's a big deal. That's 50% of the way there to 100,000, and that's gonna be game changing. And I'm actually gonna show my hair for the first time ever, so press the red button, man. But I'm gonna leave the video like that. I appreciate you guys for watching. My name is Zakashi, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man.